was Gavaskar, the real master. Just like a wall, we couldn't know Gavaskar at all. Not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't know Gavaskar at all.
But let me take a sip from my abnormally large drink. Do you know why I have an abnormally large drink?
Because you're gonna let me rant about England. Am I just supposed to launch into this rant? I thought you wanted to at the very least intro the episode,
No, no, I will
do
intro the
your
episode.
usual.
No, 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 no. Hello, hello. No ranting until I give you the okay.
Ah, okay. Ah,
Okay. But
ah.
first, I took a sip of my drink. Now to the intro of the episode. From BazBall to BegBall. From growing some balls to Ben Stokes losing his balls. This is the No Balls Cricket Podcast. Hello, everybody. My name is Siddharth Pradhan. That is Aditya Devra. And that is the only um, scripted intro you will ever get on this show. Now we
Actually,
can carry on.
maybe I should script some of my rants. I think it would be interesting. It would also be easier to then maintain some sort of time. But
No, no, I gave up hope of that a long time ago. Anyway,
what are we on?
uh,
This is
uh,
episode 58, coming off the heels of an entertaining, like a boring test cricket wise, but entertaining for everything else that happened outside of it. Um,
the Great Escape, but
the, the
I mean,
Great
it's,
Escape,
it's
but the Great Escape aided by an absolutely terrible pitch, a pitch so bad that even Ben Stokes could score a century on it.
yeah, fair. He did score a set. It was so bad, even Ben Stokes got 100 on it. Um, anyway, on the show today, India versus England, and of course, we will launch into the roundup, which is really short because there's a lot of fairly meaningless T20 cricket on other than that. And on that happy note, let's swing into the roundup.
Yeah. So starting off with which one? What do you think is more bizarre? Sorry, not more bizarre, more meaningless. Our the one involving our neighbors or the that tri series?
I mean, the Tri-Series at least gives Zimbabwe, New Zealand, and South Africa some like warm up. The shit between our neighbors is just it's shit.
Okay, so that's the more meaningless one. Pakistan played a three-match series in Bangladesh, and lost that. Bangladesh won 2-1. I think it was the second Test match was the one that was absolutely hilarious because
Yeah,
at one point in
the
time,
Test match that lasted only 20 overs. It's a
at
T20
one
full.
point in yes, um, sorry, second T20. The At one point in time, Pakistan was 15 for 5, chasing 134. Um, and then somehow have managed a rearguard action to get them to within touching distance, thanks to Fahim Ashraf and like he's being supported by a couple of other players down the order for Pakistan. Abbas Afridi and Ahmed Daniel just came in and slogged a little bit. Um, yeah, they were 15 for 5. They got to it was 47 for 7, and then somehow they have managed of the last two wickets to score 80 runs. Um, but they got Bangladesh managed to not complete the greatest choke ever, and bowled Pakistan out for 125 to win by 8 runs.
Anyway, so here's the thing. If you listen to that statement very carefully, he said they were 15 for 5 chasing 134. That statement just spells one word, 4 letters. Shit. I mean, I'm not lying, but I genuinely think low scoring T20s are the worst type of cricket. They serve no purpose. They're not
Hey, this seemed like
entertaining.
an exciting match. This seemed like an exciting match.
Yeah, I mean, it got exciting when Pakistan were 15 for 5. That's about as exciting as it got. Because the embarrassment of getting knocked over for less than 50 would have been too much for them to handle. It would have been a miracle if they even went past 27, but then they somehow got to 127.
They did. They
Uh,
got out at 125, but
125, sorry. Beg pardon, 125. Okay, close enough. Uh, anyway, moving on from there, you were talking about some tri-series?
yeah, in the middle of everything that was going on, I feel like tri-series have kind of died out. But New Zealand and South Africa and Zimbabwe decided to fight the good fight and bring them back for a very random T20 tri-series that New Zealand won. Um, Matt Henry was the star for that series. There's not really much else to say about that.
Yeah, I mean it's like the most random thing on earth. Like this, it's just yeah, okay, fine, we'll move on. We're done. And the third T20I series that we have is, of course, the West Indies versus Australia. The West Indies giving Andre Russell a guard of honor and all of that. I mean, fairly well deserved, I guess. Um, he's been, to be fair to Andre Russell, although he hasn't played Test cricket for, I think he's only ever played one Test match. But, he's represented the West Indies across all the limited overs formats for a while now, and he's been center of uh, center of it two T20 World Cups that they've won and so on and so forth. And one of the real first true superstars of T20I cricket. So can't
Oh
really
yeah,
argue with
100%.
that. Um,
Um,
the only problem with
yeah.
all of that was the West Indies then proceeded to get smashed.
The West Indies, this is supposed to be the strong format. The format where they've got all the T20 stars playing across the world. They bring them all together, all of that. And they're getting absolutely trashed by Australia. They're 4-0 down in the series with one match to go. It's not been close in any of them. Australia have cruised to each of these wins. It's been shocking. Like coming off the Test series, of course, which ended with the 27 all out. Um, then to turn around and hit West Indies' best format and see that they're not putting up a fight, and that is also kind of worrying.
Is this rock bottom for the West Indies? Can they go any further than this?
I mean, we asked this 2 weeks ago when they got bowled out for 27 in a Test match. So I don't know. When does
No,
rock
because
bottom actually hit?
no, I mean, you put everything into. I'll tell you why. You put everything into perspective. They missed out on the 50 over World Cup in 23, right? They didn't qualify for
Yeah.
that. Number one. Number two, they were terrible in the T20 World Cup at home. They didn't do well, right? They were not good.
Right.
Number three, they've not been good in Test cricket for a while. Now, Dan Sammy's come in and made sweeping changes. But then you get left with 27 all out. Fine. Then your best format, you're getting absolutely smacked by the Australians all over this. Now, admittedly, it is Australia. It's not losing to
Yeah, this is a
Pakistan
good-
or Bangladesh or something. But
It is a good
Australia.
Australian side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good Australian side, but you expect to be competitive if you're the West Indies. You don't expect to be losing 4-0 with like every single game you're barely in the game.
But that's what I'm trying to get at. So I was reading the Caribbean Cricket Podcast the other day. And what they're saying is, I think it's time to accept that the West Indies aren't competitive and this is their level. This is genuinely the level. And to be fair to them, it has been like this for a while now.
It has been, but they've at least put up usually a better fight in T20s compared to this.
Fair. Do we consider it rock bottom or do they have a ways to go? Like, is there any, I mean, there's a point where you can't go any lower. There's only up from here.
I don't know. I guess there are, I don't know, not qualifying for T20 World Cup will be their rock bottom, maybe.
I don't think that will happen because they are in the top 10, but let's see.
Hang on. We also do want to talk just very briefly about the India women winning the ODI series.
I forgot about the women, yes.
Yes. The India women winning the ODI series in England 2-1. It was a just fairly comprehensive performance throughout the series and capped off by a smashing innings from Harmanpreet Kaur.
Oh, the Harmonster came out, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, she's brutal when she gets going, man.
That last, and I think 318 was possibly the highest total in England. I can't remember if I remember that.
I think it's the highest total in England.
Yeah. But yeah, they absolutely smashed that decider. Just overall very comprehensive performance across both formats, the T20s and the ODIs. And came away with series wins in both. They've just found some emerging stars, and then of course Harmanpreet finding form at the end was great.
There was an interesting quote at the end of that series where Catherine Silver-Brunt actually had a go at them. And the funny bit was the person that quipped back in the opposite direction was Nat Silverbrunt. Why is that funny? Because they're married to each other. So, I don't even know. Does that become a household affair? Call it a household affair.
Uh,
Anyway, I'm just trying to put what I saw out there. I can't remember exactly what the quotes were, but it was something along the lines of England, needing um, players to stand up and significantly improve. That was from Catherine Silverbrunt, and then Nat Silverbrunt said that um, they're still inexperienced and young and inexperienced, and still a side that's somewhat in transition and will improve. However, if you look at it, and this I alluded to on the podcast last week, was that there are a few players that have been there for a while now, and if they're not performing,
yeah,
then you don't really have a ways to go.
yeah. Meanwhile, for India, Kranti Gaur was a big find. I think had a great ODI series. Um, ju- Other than that, I think just the batting lineup seems a lot more settled, and everyone knows their roles. I think Richa Ghosh has been in a good run of form, and the fact that she's just there as a finisher has and is performing is really helpful.
Yeah, but there were question marks about her wicket keeping. A few missed chances, missed stumpings, and things like that. They did say there was, and I was watching some of the people that had seen the game, and the comments were obviously that you need someone. Richa Ghosh is in her side because her batting is phenomenal, but she also
Yeah.
needs to improve her wicket keeping a little bit now. I think it's come to that point where it's funny because this is something we said about a certain other Indian wicketkeeper only about 7 years ago. And he made the improvements. So why can't she? So I guess follow that example. Of course, if there's any surprises to who we're talking about, the man's name is Rishabh Pant. All right. Now can we move on?
Yes, now we can move on.
Fine. On our main segment, we are not talking about the penguin blinders. We are, however, talking about the bitch blinders. This is India versus England.
So one thing we will say is both of us came out on the last pod saying that this series could very easily end 3-2. We just didn't know who would win. It is now officially not ending 3-2. It is either going to end 3-1 or 2-all, or possibly even just 2-1. It'd be
really funny if we have called. So both of us said 3-1 after the first game, right?
Correct.
That's still a possibility, by the way.
Yeah.
Then we changed our prediction at the end of the last game at Lords. And that was a weird test match anyway.
Yeah.
And then after watching this, it's safe to say that only one thing has come out of this. For the first 3.5 days, India had turned into Man United. They were ready to lose to fucking Fiji. In case you missed it, before the game started, there was a huge collab between Man United and the Indian cricket team. Siraj bowling to Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire trying to hit sixes with his head. Ruben Amorim and Rishabh Pant, taking photos and chatting shit about each other. Kuldeep Yadav deciding that he's fucking Pep Guardiola and asking about formations. All of that kind of crap. And then Ahmad and Pant have this photo, and I promise you, neither of them, well, Pant might know who Ahmad is. Ahmad has no clue who Pant is. Anyway, all that happened before the game started. So then the obvious assumption was if there's some sort of cultural exchange, we hope it goes from the Indian cricket team to Man United. But
I was going to say, people kept making that joke, but if you look at the stats.
Exactly. I was about to come to that. we hadn't been very good till that point either.
Yes, prior to this, India had won only 2 of their previous 11 test matches. And Man United had finished last season only winning 2 of their last 11 games. So yeah, it was very much.
There was like some proper synergy there. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It was a proper the 2 teams at the same level meeting and anyway, apparently I didn't even know this. Apparently Siraj is a big United fan.
Yeah, Siraj is a huge football fan.
There's a whole segment I think with Bumrah and Karun Nair where they're talking about who in the Man United team could be a good cricketer, good cricketer.
Yeah.
Who in the India team is good at football. Karun Nair apparently is like a diehard, long-standing United fan, and said this whole trip was a dream come true and everything. See, this is why
Yeah.
apparently we should be picking Karun Nair on Test squad so that he can get to Old Trafford.
And okay, so then much like United, fucking hell, I'm now confusing the two. India's attack suddenly turned toothless when they decided to bowl.
Yeah, everyone. Like even Bumrah had a bad game. First time he's ever conceded 100 in an innings. Actually, let's go in order. So
Okay, let's get okay. Enough with the United talk. Let's get into the Test match.
England won the toss, decided to chase flash bowl. They might regret that decision. I don't know. India's batting, India's batting innings is just full of starts. KL Rahul got out in the 40s. Jaiswal got 50 and then got out. Sai got to 60. Good. I mean, we've been saying he needs to be back in the side over Karun Nair, and they did that. He looked a little scratchy for a while. I think obviously when you have been dropped after just one Test match, you kind of do play a little within yourself. Made a solid 60, but also you need those to be converted into hundreds. Gill didn't get a big start, but like he had started settling in at the crease. Rishabh Pant with possibly the moment of the Test match yet again.
I mean,
tries to reverse, tries to scoop. No, sorry,
it was a reverse. No, it was a reverse.
Tries to reverse to Chris Wokes, who is the slowest of the England pacers. Under edges one onto his foot and fractures it. It was in the catalogue of Rishabh Pant moments. But of course, then give the actual moment of the Test match is when the next wicket falls on the next day. Pant hobbles down the steps to come join the rear guard and probably gets us an extra 20-30 runs with the effort he put in there while barely being able to walk.
I think honestly India left about 50 to 60 runs on the table in that first innings purely because
they left more than that. The Rahul, Jaiswal,
there was a few.
And Sai should have all gotten to 100.
There was some very naive batting in that first inning, and people don't talk about this enough because of everything that happened later on. But there was some very naive batting. I thought Rahul played a poor shot to get out. I can understand him doing it, but it was just a weird way of getting out. But then it's one of those like that is such a KL Rahul way of getting out. The wank pheasant strikes again, right? And he was batting
Rolls-Royce Rahul, huh?
Classic Rolls-Royce Rahul. He's batting beautifully, and then all of a sudden innocuous fucking back of a length ball outside off, and he nicks it. Somehow fucking nicks it. No clue how. And I was stood there watching, and I'm like, how did this man nick this ball? He was one. Jaiswal nicking off to a ball from fucking Liam Dawson that was on like 8th stump. Like, what the fuck was that?
Liam Dawson doesn't turn the ball at all, and you're getting on a day one pitch in Manchester, you're getting out like that. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary. Both the hooks from Sudarshan and from Washington, both the Tamil Nadu boys, y'all need to work on your hooking or your selection of shots of balls to hook. Those were unnecessary.
I mean, to be fair, I think Washington is more like he's playing with the tail at that point, and he's just trying to get quick runs, and he sees a shot and goes for it. But Sai, yeah, I think he definitely. Sai also has the most random weakness that I've seen a Test class batsman have. Is he got caught down the leg side twice in the one Test he played in Headingley. And then nearly gets out the exact same way early in this innings. Just Jamie Smith drops him. Has a couple of other moments where he's like just looks a little uncomfortable with, like, that's the ball that whenever you get out like that, it's like, how do you get out playing down the leg side? But apparently this is something they're targeting with Sai. But yeah, that shot he played to actually get out was also just not needed at that time.
No, it wasn't, and he'd gotten away with one the previous over. So it was just like, you don't need to play the stroke. That being said, Washington was hampered by Pant not being able to run when he came out to bat. That I could see. And Washington is what we would call a stodgy Test class batsman. He has a few shots, but he's not an expansive stroke player.
I saw the greatest tweet about Washington's batting during the first innings, where he's like, Washington Sundar's innings are full of some of the dourest defense you will see, punctured by some of the most amazing shots you will see.
There was one that said he is so boring. He's there to bore the opposition and his own fans. Um, anyway, so 358. It seemed like a good score at the time because the clouds were in. The ball was
I
still
will
doing a
tell you,
bit.
I will tell you, I thought they were like at least 100 runs short on that total. I will say on day one was the only time this pitch was good to bowl on, but even then, I like the way in the Indian top order had gotten starts, they were 100 runs short minimum on that first inning, and so it would prove to be.
Anyway, so then what happens is the clouds are still in, by the way. Jasprit Bumrah bowls the first over. And then instead of Siraj, we get Anshul-Kamzor.
But I was kind of excited to see Anshul Kamboj because
I
he's had
was
a good couple
excited
of
too.
runny seasons. He's had a good couple of runny seasons. He got called up. I mean, also the one reason we were excited is because the other option was Prasidh Krishna.
Yeah,
Who knew?
that's true.
Who knew that it could get worse? Um, Anshul Kamboj is bowling like his first spell is barely touching the low 130s, and he only gets slower after that. And on a pitch that has no movement, and with a bowler who does not hit the deck hard even at that pace, oh man, against this
Oh my
batting
God.
lineup, you are a lamb to the slaughter.
But having said that, India wasted the new ball. They were both sides of the wicket, too straight to Ben Duckett, who's been England's best batsman in the series, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and it's like Ben Duckett, we know this. So he just feasts on anything where he gets room to free his arms, or if he can just tuck it around. And just yeah, we just kept feeding him.
And the other thing is they have the most irritating, like funny Tom and Jerry fucking Mickey Mouse openers in the world. I mean, Zach Crawley, who's a giant of a man, and Ben Duckett, who's basically a minion. Like he's tiny. He must be like 5'4" or some shit.
Basically a minion.
There is
Yeah,
another
very
word
much.
with M that I cannot say.
Very
So
much a
minion it
little and
is.
large partnership.
Yeah.
Very much a little and large partnership there. It reminds you of Jermaine Defoe and Peter Crouch.
Add to that the fact that they're left and right-handed, and it can get annoying. However, Bumrah was terrible, which was unique. I've never seen him bowl that
Yeah,
badly.
it was the first time he'd conceded 100 runs in an innings. And honestly, it was deserved. He had just, it was the worst I've seen him bowl. And I'm wondering whether these players are a little undercooked. Overall, their fitness isn't great because they're coming straight out of the IPL. They're not ready for test match level, like
No, I
bowling
mean,
multiple spells and all that. But
it didn't get any better because then they really did turn into 2015, 2025 Man United because all of a sudden Jadeja can't stem the flow of runs. Mohammad Siraj has turned into 2013 Mitchell Johnson. He bowls to the left, he bowls to the right, and everyone is chanting that. And Anshul Kamboj started off as Anshul Kamzor, and he very quickly turned into Vacation RP Singh.
Vacation RP Singh. He reminded us, if anything, in fact, he reminded us of all of Pankaj Singh and that one test he played in the 2014 series. Or the two tests he played, whatever it was.
Whatever, nobody remembers this, but Pankaj Singh in that game had 4 catches dropped off of him.
This is true. This is true. He
So,
would have had.
I
Yeah.
don't blame. Pankaj Singh was nowhere near this man. Let me tell you, nowhere near. This man,
This guy,
I swear to, I promise you, there is a cricket club there's a cricket club about 3 miles from Old Trafford called the Didsbury Cricket Club where I trialed that. I promise you, he would not have looked out of place in the fours.
So the other concerning thing is like this is the first time his first test appearance ever. He's on debut. He's the first spell he's making. This is someone who usually bowls at around 135-ish, or at least he can hit that consistently. I don't think he got a single ball over 132 or maybe 133 in this entire test match. Mostly by the time his second and third spells rolled around, he was struggling to even touch 130. So basically, he's come in and he's not been able to maintain his peak pace. He's not even able to hit his peak pace at any point in the match, and forget maintaining a pace. And like we
Pace?
see that drop.
You're calling that pace?
The stat that came out was that his average pace in this test match was lower than
Was
Manus
Manfred
Labuschagne.
Labuschagne.
In that one spell, Manus bowled once.
I'm telling you, the comparisons to 2011, that Lord's Test where RP Singh has been dragged out of his vacation in Florida. You cannot get any more the likeness was uncanny, honestly. He looked like he had been chilling somewhere. Then you realize he's been playing fucking like first class cricket in England. He played for India A or some shit like a week ago. Then they sent him home for some fucking reason. And then he was brought all the way back.
Yeah, maybe he was just jet lagged.
I don't know. Anyway,
The upshot of this is Ben Duckett somehow manages to miss out on a century. I think that was Anshul Kamboja's first wicket, the getting him for like 98 or whatever.
yeah.
Zach Crawley and Ollie Pope, the two walking wickets, have scored 50s. Joe Root has gone to becoming the second highest test run scorer, and he's coming for Sachin's record.
Oh, you must
He
have loved it
crossed.
when he went past because Ponting was on air.
Someone did point out during the no, I think during I don't know if it was while Ponting was on air or before Ponting was coming up. It's like we're being really hospitable. We called Ponting on air. He's going to be on air while Root crosses his record, and we're just going to ask him to talk about it.
I
But
mean,
anyway, Root in the space of one innings crossed Jack Callis, Rahul Dravid, and Ricky Ponting in the all-time test runs tallies. I mean,
no.
I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna hate it when it happens. But when he crosses Sachin, if he crosses Sachin, it won't be a blasphemy. Joe Root is genuinely that good. A lot of
Joe
it, of
Root
course,
is-
is that
So-
yeah, there's a sheer volume of tests that he
Of
plays that
cricket,
is
that's
helping
it.
him.
But England play a lot of
Yeah,
test cricket, and it's, fair enough.
Yeah, but he is performing, and he has been consistent for 5, 6 years now, playing at a different, absolutely different level. So there's that. But the one thing that lets you know that this pitch was an absolute batting paradise is that a man who has not scored a century for 2 years has struggled to hit 50, went on to score 140 runs.
Bear in mind, he gets hit in the nuts more times than he makes runs.
Ben Stokes, a batter, is an illusion. Has been an illusion in the last few years. He's not really produced any really good innings, noteworthy. Even one of those like 50 off of 30 random, like none of that is. He's been pretty much, and especially against India's spinners, so he's been a walking wicket, or against Bumrah. But here he comes on and scores 140 runs. Wanted to get to his 150, which will become an important fact when we talk about India's innings. But he was closing in on 150 before he got out. Yeah, and even England basically bat till 11 with this current lineup with Liam Dawson, who has like some thousands of first class runs. So yeah, this is how they get to like 600 plus. And at that point, India go in 311 runs down. Day 4, just before lunch, first over in their innings, Jaiswal gets out. First ball, Sai Sudarshan comes in, decides he needs to pay tribute to our greatest coach, all-time legend Gautam Gambhir.
Yeah, it's the famous Jeffrey boycott clip, right?
I was gonna say, just cast your mind back to 2014. Gautam Gambhir has missed the first 2 or first 3 tests or whatever. Has been brought back in because India's opening has sucked. Gautam Gambhir has come in, left the ball, decided he's trying to leave the ball,
And nicks
and
it.
nicks it off the top of his bat to slip. And Gautam Gambhir starts walking in. Jeffrey Boycott Gambhir's been rubbish, and has gone on a rant. And then Gambhir gets out like this. And Jeffrey Boycott is, what did I tell you? He is rubbish.
Well, it's point proven. Anyway, but yeah, then
Sai Sudarshan decides to pay tribute to this, getting out in exact same way.
at that point you're thinking, oh, this game is done. Because we're not for 2.
On a flat pitch, we are somehow not for 2. 311 runs behind. Thankfully, classic Rolls Royce Rahul shows up and gives support to the captain who sort of shook off his lord's sort of failure there and brings up another century. He's crossed 700 runs for the series. Then those two get out, and suddenly you're like, oh shit, we're in trouble again. Jadeja gets dropped first ball by Archer, but then Jadeja and Washington Sundar bat out two
That
sessions.
was literally the next day around about lunchtime. Oh, a little bit
Yeah,
before.
exactly. A little bit
Yeah.
before lunchtime. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it was the last day, then Washington and Jadeja bat out the last however many overs, get to about 80 odd.
Yeah.
And now
And now the drama starts. This test match had become boring for about a day, and then the drama starts. Washington Sundar is there on 80. Ravindra Jadeja is there on 89, not out. They go into the final hour of play. Ben Stokes makes it a big point. As you guys know, the rule is that if on the last day going into the last hour, the two captains can agree if there's no scope of either side to win, they can just shake hands and call off the last hour and just go home early. So Ben Stokes walks over with his hand, comes over to Ravindra Jadeja, who is not captain. Just remember that. Ben Stokes forgot. Walks over with his hand, makes sure that everyone sees that he's got his hand out. I think the normal protocol is go over and ask. You don't do the whole show and thing, but Ben Stokes, he's more show than showbiz.
Ben jokes.
He's more show than business, rather.
By the way, speaking of Ben Stokes, sorry, before you go on, I had a very funny moment yesterday when I said Ben Stokes, and everybody looked at it, and I was sitting in the clinic, and somebody came at me, he's like, wait, he's a real person? I thought we were all just swearing in like a different language.
Oh, man.
Anyway, now carry on.
The people in India who aren't cricket fans are just so cute.
Well, that was very cute. Well, I was in like splits. I could not believe someone said that. But anyway.
Anyway, like I was saying, Ben Stokes walks over. These two batters who have batted out two sessions to save a test match at the end of India batting out four sessions to save a test match. Face Bryden Carts and Jofra Archer. Stokes has come back after missing a good chunk of the second innings or not bowling for a good chunk because of injury. These two have faced everything that's been thrown at them, batted really well, are now close to their milestones. Ben Stokes is like, I don't know, this game is going to be a draw. Let's all head out. And Jadeja is like, no, we're close to our centuries. And suddenly all of the moral posturing and bravado and sledging has begun. Stokes is just going to Jadeja, come on, mate. And Jadeja is like, no, go bowl. Ben Duckett is like, oh, how long do you need? Do you need an hour? Zach Crawley's like, oh, you should have gotten your century a lot quicker. If you wanted to get a century, you should have batted quicker. Ashwin, by the way, anyone who listens to Ashwin's podcast, just great line. Not everyone can bat like you. Bat quickly and then get out quickly also. Zach Crawley. Anyway, everything kicks off. Harry Brook then decides he's going to bowl absolute rubbish on purpose. As a protest, he's going to bowl pies. Because of course, otherwise he would bowl absolutely.
No. One minute. Pies would be Kevin Peterson. We have affirmed now that pies is what Shoaib Bashir bowls. Right? Like, and those are even pork pies because those are not halal. But what, and Mukul Kesavan described this brilliantly on Twitter. He called them donkey drops.
Donkey drops.
I mean, it was farcical. Like, honestly, look, both sides have a point of view here, and I get it. Neither of them are wrong. Okay?
Look, Stokes is within his rights to offer the draw.
Exactly. I agree. He's within his rights to offer. They're within their rights to say no. The fucking prima donna petulance and I don't know, like,
yeah,
who's the bigger dickhead
exactly.
here? Him or Harry Brook? Like, literally, it's come down to that.
And the best part then is, of course, then Harry Brooks in protest is bowling at like under 40 miles an hour. I think this is just a different level of petty. And honestly, the great cricketer put it in a very good way. They're like, this is the part that's disrespectful for cricket.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am so pissed off that you want to bat for your century that now I'm going to pretend like I'm bowling trash. I'm gonna, like, it's not worthy of me even putting in an effort. So I'm going to put in Harry Brook. Who Ben Stokes is like, oh, you want to get your century against Harry Brook? Like, "No, you can bowl Archer if you
Bro,
want. Let's do it."
honestly,
But
it was at that point, I'm just like, yo, these guys are gonna get to their 100 anyway. It's gonna take you 10 fucking minutes, right? It's literally gonna take you 10 minutes. Bring the field up, give fucking Jamie Smith the ball. When was the last
seriously,
time you saw a wicketkeeper ball?
we've had such entertaining moments in these types of situations where like Alistair Cook
Yeah.
has taken wicket and Dhoni has bowled and blah blah blah. Like shit like that has happened. Anyway, these guys do their whole petulant thing. Then of course Jadeja gets his century off of these
Harry Brook
donkey
goes to
drops.
shake his hand. Yeah.
Exactly. I broke Sasuke. Acha, at this point, remember Washington Sundar is also on 80, 92 or 88 or whatever it is. 92, I think it was. But Jadeja gets through his century. Um, and Harry Brook's like, oh, acha, you got your century. Now let me come try shaking your hand. And of course, everyone ignores him. Good job by Washington and Jadeja to just like,
Yeah, well
ignore
played
all
there.
that celebrating.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck
And
yeah,
then,
I would have
and
ignored
then
him too.
yeah. And next over, finally, next Harry Brook over Washington gets to his century as well. Honestly, in the midst of all of this, it's lost a huge moment for him because he's previously been stranded on 85 and very famously on 96
Hmm.
against England. He's a superb player. He is honestly like for all the jokes we will make about how he defends a lot and he's actually not that aggressive, even though he had some amazing shots in his arsenal. He's genuinely, I think, going to be one of India's best cricketers over the next decade. And he has deserved and earned this century, and I think I'm glad to
Listen,
see him get it.
we've known this about Washington Sundar. What surprised me in this game and at Lords actually more than anything was how good his bowling is. I always knew he
Yeah,
was a good enough batsman to bat in the top five for India. I was
yeah,
a
and
little bit
we can
skeptical about his bowling, but he
we
got
can get
more
into this.
drift than anybody else on either side for 2 games.
Yeah, we can get into this a little when we're like sort of analyzing India's tactics, but like
Yeah.
the fact that he didn't bowl until what the 69th over or whatever it was. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah. It's-
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, but basically, Ben Stokes and BazBall and all of that, they who have now decided that they are the arbiter of all that is good and moral in cricket. Do you want to put the timer on? Do you want to time how long I can carry on now?
Oh, go on then. Let's do it. Let me put the timer on. Fuck yeah, I'll put the timer on. Where's the timer gone? Hang on. Stopwatch gone. Start.
All right. Do I have a limit? Do you want me to keep it under a certain amount of time?
You can try for 2 minutes, but I will not be opposed if you go over.
All right. So anyway, as I was saying,
For once,
Ben
okay,
Stokes.
1 second before you go on. For once,
Ah.
you are given free reign. Don't abuse it.
For once, I'm giving free. For once, I'm giving free rein. Achha, now, oh damn! With great power comes great responsibility. Um, right. So Ben Stokes has decided ever since he's become Test captain, and along with the whole BazBall era with McCullum there, they've decided that they are the arbiter of all that is good in Test cricket. They are. It is solely upon them to save Test cricket. Test cricket has not needed them to save it. Test cricket has, despite all of the crises that it has supposedly faced, has managed to keep existing. It does not need this manufactured marketing gimmick that Stokes and McCullum have come up with to be saved. They genuinely have carried on like they think they are God's gift to mankind. And they have everything. They've revolutionized Test cricket, blah, blah, blah. I think England has this complex because the entire world has revolutioned against them. So they think they are desperate to do some kind of revolutionary thing somewhere in their culture as it exists. And BazBall has become that. Of course, we've seen all of the stupid morality when the Ashes rolled around and Johnny Bairstow forgot the rules and instantly walked off after after playing and missing a ball and
I mean, his
got
name should have
down.
been Johnny Walker at that point.
Yes, his name was Johnny Walker. And like, oh, now we've won the moral ashes because that's not the way we play cricket. Blah blah blah. Of course, we've had all of the debates over non-striker runouts against and it's always the English who have some sort of moral code that everyone else is breaking. And like even here, you've got this I mean I don't get this feed, but I saw it on Twitter. Like obviously, I think the Indian feed has Jonathan Trott on, and he's like, "Oh, English culture is not about playing for milestones, so Ben Stokes doesn't play that way." You guys invented this sport. You guys are the ones who have stadiums with honors board. Like it's supposed to be this major thing that acha, the Lord's honors board exists, and we all have to be on the Lord's honors board. And also, every other stadium in the country also has an honors board, and it's a big hue and cry. You created this shit, and it's a big deal when people do these things according to you guys. If Ben Stokes the previous day, he should have declared maybe 100 runs earlier to give himself more time to bowl India out. No, he went, got to his century, tried getting to his 150. No, उस समय no one was like, oh, let's don't play for your milestones and blah blah blah. But now, but like this whole we don't play for milestones. Oh, they had batted already so well. What difference is 10 runs going to make? This whole sort of posturing that England have carried on with on under Stokes, it's honestly undercut everything. Their cricket can sometimes be genuinely entertaining, but this everything that they do outside of the pitch, all the talk and bullshit that they do, it's undercut everything. It is hard to give a team like Australia a 30-year head start on being the most unlikable team in the world, and then overtake them in 3 years, and that's what's happened. That's what happened. And here's the difference. The Australian team post Kim Hughes, like Alan Border onwards, they made it a point to be cunts. And it pissed off everyone, and they all crossed the line loads of times, and that's the reason I grew up hating them. Here's the one thing you can't deny about Australia. They won. They were the fucking best test team for over a decade.
Yeah, how much have you hated them? They won.
England are unlikable without being good enough.
Agreed. One minute. Put this into perspective. This is in a drawn game in a series at home against an Indian side in the midst of a fucking giant transition, right? You've lost all your massive players. Your best fast bowlers not playing the whole series. You should be wiping the floor with this team. It should not be good enough. However, for the first 3 games, I promise you, if one or two things had gone India's way, you'd be looking at the flip side of this scoreline.
Forget flip side of the scoreline. India should have been up 3-0 going into this test match. They should have won the first test. They should have won at Lord's. You know, England sees their moments, earn their victories. Good for them. But like, they have not played good test cricket for the most part outside of moments. This was the first test match they dominated. But let's put the other factor in this is that BazBall is required rolling out these batting friendly pitches. And so here you go. This is your comeuppance. You've ended up giving such a batting friendly pitch that only 24 wickets fall over 5 days. And at the end of that, 2 batters who have batted out for 2 whole sessions to repel your best bowlers. This is the ethos of test batting. You see off the good bowling so that you can feast on the bad bowling, and that's how you that's how you get to your milestones. At 80 and 89, they're more than entitled to. In fact, you know what? I'm actually annoyed with India. I'm annoyed with Jadeja and Washington and Gill there. They should have batted out the whole hour. They should not have. They should have gotten their centuries and been like, "Fuck it, we are batting the next 12 overs." Stay out there. All of you guys can run around in the field, bowl Harry Brook and Ben Duckett and Zach Crawley if you want to. Don't play your frontline bowlers, but we're gonna make you fucking stand in the field for 1 hour.
I will say this though. That, however, would have missed the point because we would not have gotten the moral victory. And we all know that is the most important victory in the history of mankind. Okay, we have gone way overboard with this because I said 2 minutes, we did 6. So now I'm going to end on what the great cricketer have said this morning. England have united the cricket world this morning in a way that colonialism could have only dreamed of. We know hypocrisy is the national sport to our English brothers. I mean, that has to be one of the all-timer lines. But they were right, toys out the pram and all of that. I mean, yeah, here's the thing. If you're going to be chief dickhead, win. If you can't do it, petulance. Doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. If you win, we'd hate it, but at least you'd be winning. At least you could say, all right, all of this serves the purpose of England becoming the best test side in the world. They're not. They're barely getting by on flat pitches at home, and then whenever they travel, they get trapped.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, this is an England team that hasn't beaten Australia at home since 2015, 10 years ago, right?
Yep.
They beat India in 2018. That was 7 years ago. They really haven't, and they lost the test series to the then number one side in the world in New Zealand in 2022, right? They've not been good. I know BazBall has flipped it on its head and they're winning and all of that, but have they won in Australia? No. They haven't won a test in Australia in 20 years. 20 years.
Yeah, they're going to the Ashes. They're going to Australia this winter.
They're going to Australia in the winter. They're not winning
I
that
can't
series.
wait. I can't wait, man. I have turned for that series. I will turn into honestly, if David Warner comes back for that series too, because Australia have an opening crisis, I will turn into David Warner's biggest fan.
Right? They don't have the gravitas of victory to fall back on.
All right. Anyway, India has some questions. Batting lineup, I guess. I mean, nothing there. The decision to bring in Sai for Karun Nair, no question there.
India have two forced changes, right?
Yeah.
One because Pant is injured, so Dhruv Jurel will come in, right?
Yes. So Pant Jurel straight swap, and most likely Washington bats at 5 or 6 the way he did in the second
Washington
inning.
moves up to 5 in just as he did in the second inning. That's number one.
And then Jurel plays at 7.
Jurel plays at 7. Number 2, we send Mr. Florida Vacation back to Florida. And Akashdeep walks back into this team. There's no question about it.
Yeah. So that combination is what is what we need to figure out now. Obviously, Gautam Gambhir has been prioritizing batting depth. It's not working. We have gotten by thanks to an absolutely amazing out of the blue bowling performance from basically 2 bowlers.
From Siraj and Akashdeep
at Edgbaston. Yeah, that's what's won us the Test match. This whole Shardul was terrible in the series.
Yeah, it leaves 2 doubts. One, Kamboj is out. Jurel and Pant straight swap. We know that's happening. 2, from what I can see, Shardul's not going to play at the Oval, and Akashdeep walks in place of Kamboj. The only question is, and Gambhir's come out today saying that everybody's fit, we have no injury concerns. So that means that everybody's going to be back. Whether Nitish Reddy comes into the side, that will be the only interesting one.
No. Nitish Reddy is out for the series. He's gone home.
So if Reddy is not playing, then you will be almost forced to play another bowler, which means that here's the problem now. If you play Kuldeep, you have 3 spinners.
So that's the thing. Kuldeep, we've been crying out for Kuldeep all series, and the Oval might be the worst place to play him because, well, who knows? We don't. A lot of the history is going out the window.
So Manchester was the place which had no results in county cricket over the course of the entire season, which fucking bizarre. But apparently the Oval has been so flat that Dom Sibley got a 100 on it.
Exactly, Dom Sibley got a 100. The Oval used to be England's most spin-friendly pitch, but in recent times that has not been the case. The only thing is, of course, Kuldeep, just with the left-arm variety,
plus the fact that he's a wrist spinner.
Yeah, left-arm wrist spin. He brings in something different. He's also world-class bowler.
He's a class bowler. I think in any other era, he would have played 100 Test matches.
Yeah. So he can come in. The real question mark is, of course, before the series, Bumrah and the management had decided that he's only playing 3 tests. He's played 3 tests now, and so does he play the 4th or not? He kind of looked like he was on his last legs in this during the England innings at Manchester. Now, does he have it in him for a 4th test? He did get an extra 2 days of rest, obviously, because India batted so well to draw that game. There's a question mark.
It'll be interesting to see what India do. England have a few questions as well because their bowlers look spent after that. They spent the first day and a half bowling, so they got 110 overs in the first inning, and then they bowled 140 overs in the second.
Yeah, we really ground until the last 3 overs of Harry Brook. We really ground their frontline bowlers into the dust on day 5.
Yeah, exactly. So you're looking at somebody, maybe Josh Tongue comes back, maybe Gus Atkinson if he's fit. Who knows? It's going to be a toss-up for them in terms of the bowling. I will say one thing. Um, I don't think Mark Wood is fit enough yet to come back into the side.
Yeah, I think they've
And
said
I
that
don't,
Mark Wood won't become.
yeah. And the other thing is, I don't think they can risk Archer for a third test back to back.
Archer's pace already dropped from between Lords and Old Trafford, and that was despite the big gap between the two tests. So I think that he's probably, the conditioning isn't all the way back yet for him to be playing consecutive tests, and definitely not the third one. Which is the same question we have with Bumrah, is whether he can do that. When for us,
The
it's
the
a
other the
question of
other
then
question the other question is, how fit is Stokes? Is he going to be fit enough to bowl?
Stokes says it's like Ben Stokes in a great grandstanding manner. Pain is just an emotion. So apparently, then Ben Stokes will put that emotion to, suppress that emotion and bowl his heart out again.
Take the fucking drugs, Ben. Just take the drugs. We don't need this Delulu nonsense. Anyway, on that happy
They're
note,
so high on their supply,
um,
man. It's so.
predictions. You know what? If they produce a pitch as flat as this one, it's going to be another draw.
Oh, one thing we should consider though is that the upshot of all this might be that Prasidh Krishna comes back into the side.
As in Ayush's immortal words, Prasidh Krishna should retire.
We don't really have an option. Akashdeep comes in, Arshdeep might come in, but yeah. Anyway,
I mean, if the options are between Kamboj, Prasidh, and Arshdeep, I'm definitely going Arshdeep. He's left arm. He
but
gives you something different.
He'd be making his debut. His county experience when he played for Kent, what was it, 2023, wasn't great. He got experience. It's good to get experience of the conditions, but it's not like he was, setting the world on fire at Kent. He's also not express pace. His like top speed in first class cricket is usually in the mid 130s. So, but yes, bring the variety. I've wanted to see him all series. I would love to see him.
He's got variety and he's a genuine swing bowler.
Correct. I would love to see that. If he's available, I would love to see him play.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm like, dude, you can't be worse than the other two, so you may as well throw him in there. Plus, he can do an Umbros if he really tries.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's a matter of pitch. Are we going to stick with 3-1, or are we going to go back to 3-2 or 2-1? You're gonna 2-1's an option now. With the way the
3-2 is not an option. 3-2 is not an option. I think India has played well enough. Yeah,
will it be 2-2 as well?
Enough. It could be 2-2, and I think it should be 2-2 because I think India have played well enough to come out of this series with a draw. It's just a question of can they get the bowling attack right? And if they do, yeah, I think they're the better side. And I think England's bowlers have actually been, they've gone under the radar because they've won 2 tests, but England's bowlers have not been great. Bryden Cast, by the way, I discovered yesterday, is averaging 60 in this test series. Chris Wokes isn't doing much better. He's averaging in the 50s. They're literally riding on Ben Stokes producing this otherworldly.
Yeah, I mean, Stokes has been phenomenal the last 2 games with the ball. Yeah. But now Willie Bowl is he only bowled 11 overs out of 140 in the second innings. So who knows? Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I'm not leaning towards 2-2. I think it'll probably end up being a draw, knowing how flat the oval pitch has been this year.
Yeah, this is of course. Yeah. The only thing I would say against the draw is that England have only drawn 2 test matches in the BazBall era. This was the second one. Both of them were at Manchester and were now out of Manchester, so it's going to be hard to see. They've never drawn a test match outside of.
So ironic that like the first old school draw we've had in like years has been at the place where it always rains.
I know. And we lost. Did we lose any overs to rain? I don't think
we lost like 2. We lost 4 overs to bad light on the first evening.
Day one.
Yeah.
Day one, correct. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Manchester's driest spell, 5 days of no rain.
Anyway, so yeah, that'll be pretty much that's that for this series. I mean, that'll be the last game, and then of course we'll do a full series review at the end of it. And yeah, I mean, I just want to see Ben Stokes cry again. So Anyway. On that very happy note, it is now officially time to swing into my favorite segment of the evening. It is the No Balls Cricket Awards. Take it away.
Which one are we starting with? Are we starting with Ben Stokes being hit again, or all the the commentary on around
So
the.
four awards to give. Let's start with the one that we didn't give.
Okay, let's
Okay.
do it.
So now, if you guys watch Cricinfo's Instagrammy roundup of the day's play, at the end of day, or was it day 3 or day 4?
I think it
I
was
think it
either
was day
day 2
3.
or day 3. It
Yeah,
was
I think it was
after India's bowling had shut the bed.
that was day 3 then. Um,
Yeah.
Matt Roller and Vitushan Ethunaraja have given the Head of State Award to Morning Walker.
Great. Wait. The context here being that Morning Mokel was put up to front put up for the press conference at the end of that day, and he's just given a bunch of non-answers about the bowling.
No, and he also just went
Right.
on and on. That's why he was called the Head of
Yeah.
State. He just never stopped talking.
Does that make me the lifetime recipient of the Head of State Award?
No, you're a lifetime recipient of just being an idiot award.
The
Being a
one great
pain in
gem,
my ass. Verbal
one
diarrhea
great
award.
gem, one great gem from that press conference was Morne Mokel saying, "We've been trying to get Kuldeep in, clearly not trying hard enough." But yeah, anyway, this is masterclass in non-answers and going on and on, but saying nothing. And so Cricinfo gave him the Head of State Award for that.
I mean, he's still better than his boss, who would have given some weird patriotic spiel on how you have to put your fucking body on the line, or you have to do it for Desh ki dharti ke liye, and then I don't know, he's carrying around some fucking dirt from Punjab or something. Um, anyway, second award of the day. Since we don't have an actual no balls cricket award because no one's taken a wicket off a no ball, we do, for the second test match in a row, have a no balls award. We do. It is to the same man who literally does not have any balls because he's a fucking crybaby and they haven't dropped yet. His name is Ben Stokes.
But also because he got hit in the balls again.
Mainly that. Anyway, Ben Stokes gets cut in half by Siraj. He's on the floor again, holding his dick again. This time, luckily, he didn't yell right in the dick. And then there was a bunch of like ooh ahs and a bunch of replays, and then he's like on the floor, and then up and not on the floor. And last time Nasir Hussain said there was no balls left. This time, Ian Ward on commentary.
Because it was the end of the over.
Because that was the end of the over. But this time, Ian Ward on commentary. X marks the spot. So, one, Stokes for getting hit in the nuts, and then Ian Ward wins the fucking. I swear we have to have an award for commentary now, man. That was brilliant. Anyway,
and speaking of which, the last award goes to Ravi Shastri.
the last award goes to Ravi Shastri because why? Because now we just have to name this. After giving him a Lifetime Drinkers Award, Lifetime Achievement Award for talking shit, this man now gets the Big Unit Award because guess what? You remember the last when he caught that guy on camera eating the ice cream and tried to hide the ice cream? Well, he found another big unit in the crowd. And he went on about him again in typical Ravi fashion. But yeah, those are our awards. Interesting stuff to check out. Please do check out the Great Cricketer this week. They are fucking hilarious. I've not laughed that much.
Also check out Ashwin's Hindi podcast, Ash Ki Baat, because he's also ripped into England.
Oh, I need to see that. Actually, I haven't seen that one yet. And then the third one to check out is Ravi Shastri was on Stick to Cricket last week. And it's a fabulous episode. So go check it out.
Sure. Yeah.
And if you guys haven't seen the recently launched Stick to Cricket, it's on YouTube, on Sky's channel. There's Alistair Cook, Bumble, Phil Tufnell, and Michael Vaughan. If you don't like Michael Vaughan, just ignore him. But watch it anyway. Because you really can't hate
Alistair Cook. Who's surprised that Alistair Cook actually has a personality? Because I did not know this.
I mean, I knew that. It was just very well like hidden behind a paywall. On that very happy note. It is officially time to end. I hope nobody's crying because we only have one crybaby on the show. And his name is Aditya Deva. Anyway,
I'm more like a rant baby than a cry baby, but oh well.
what's the difference?
No, because Ben Stokes cries. I rant.
Okay, whatever. I mean, if I ask you to talk about Ricky Ponting, you will literally fucking erupt into tears.
I could do a whole episode ranting about Ricky Ponting.
One day I'm just going to give you that. One day, in the very, very distant future. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, say cheese because we haven't had Ian on this podcast for so long. We're missing him, and the fucking West Indies are terrible. And yeah, that's it. That's all from us this week. We will be back at the end of the Oval Test match. Yeah. So this is us. This is the Penguin Blinders, and good night.
See you guys.
It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all.